Hello fellow brawlers, I'm KairosTime. It's time for the most important video that I'm going to make in all of 2021. Now you guys might be wondering what is so important about this video. Well, I learned a long time ago that the majority of the people that watch my channel don't actually have any interest in me. They're interested in Brawl Stars, and I take that personally. No, I don't. I really don't. I understand. But because of that, I very rarely make content around my personal life. And in fact, I think the last time that I did anything like this was just over a year ago at the start of 2020. And needless to say, well, a lot has changed since 2020. So we're going to go over some of my thoughts. Now, I will be talking about Brawl Stars a bit, right? And obviously, I'm going to throw up some Brawl Stars gameplay up in there to keep you guys entertained, watch me play some Power League. And but mostly, I'm going to give you guys an update on what's going on in my life and what you can kind of expect from my channel in the future. I also plan on being a little bit more open, a little bit more vulnerable to you guys, show you guys a little different side of me than normal. And that is why this is the most important video that I will make in 2021. So, let's see, how do I say this? 2020. Well, it was crazy. Yeah, let's go with that. I don't think there is a single person right now watching this video that was not impacted one way or another by COVID, right? Even though I work from home and I pretty much never leave my house and never did before COVID, I was actually impacted quite a bit. And we moved states soon after the shutdown because we wanted to be closer to family and also we want to be somewhere a little bit warmer. There was no reason for us to be up in Washington State because I was originally there for school, and well, I dropped that so that I could do YouTube. And we actually didn't know anybody in the city that we moved to. So we were pretty much alone with no real way to make friends. And I'm not typically one that needs a lot of social interaction. I consider myself to be an introvert, but that has actually kind of been hard on me. Like before COVID, I could pretty much count on going on some sort of like a trip, like a work trip where I would see Lex, OJ, other tribe content creators, people that I consider to be like my real good friends. It's been well over a year since I've hung out with any of them. And it's been harder than I thought it was going to be. I really, like, about 6 months into it, I was just like, man, the blues hit me. And I'm not alone. I know a lot of you people watching this right now experience very similar things. That's not the only way that it's impacted me though. When things started shutting down, YouTube revenue pretty much got cut in half. Even though my views were consistent, revenue just dropped because advertisers stopped advertising as much. And that is the biggest way that I earn a living. So that was, honestly, it was really scary. Okay. For a little bit there, my wife and I, we were like, oh boy, what's going to happen here? Hopefully this doesn't last too long. Now things are back to normal. They actually returned back to normal fairly quickly. So you don't need to worry about me or anything like that. But at one point we were kind of worried about the future. In fact, I'm actually really thankful for Supercell's creator code program because when YouTube revenue dropped down, creator code actually went way up because people were home and had more time to play Brawl Stars, and that was actually really awesome. Well, I don't think I could say it was awesome, but we felt better. We weren't worried, and that was good. Then, of course, I actually got COVID, and that was awful. So we're in the middle of January's update season, and I had a 101 fever for 3 days straight, and I had to work through it. Oh my gosh, it was awful. I had to work through it to make the sneak peek videos. Okay, see, there's a lot of perks to being a YouTuber, but at least for me, one of those perks isn't always being able to set my own schedule. A lot of the time I do get to set my own schedule, but one thing is always constant, and that is if a Brawl Stars update is happening, I have to drop anything and everything to cover it. You see, there's actually a really big pattern that happens for my YouTube channel. In fact, all of the Brawl Stars YouTube channels. When an update lands, viewership often doubles, even sometimes quadruples. Whatever it happens, it goes up, okay? And then over time, viewership declines. Fewer people watch my videos every time I release a new video, and it gets a little bit more depressing, a little bit sadder. And then the next Brawl Stars update hits and things skyrocket back up, and I'm like, okay, we're good. I just noticed my lights aren't on. And that pattern is pretty constant. Update hits, we're good. Things go down and down and down and down until an update hits, and then it goes right back up. It makes sense. I understand why it happens. It's frustrating, but I get it, and I can plan on it. So it's not actually as frustrating as it used to be. But the thing is that missing out on creating update content, which would pretty mean that my channel would be steadily decreasing in viewership for several months at a time, instead of like every 6 weeks or so, however long it takes for Brawl Stars to do an update. And I can't afford to have that happen to my channel. And what I mean by that is my family can't afford for that to happen. So yeah, if I've got a 101 fever in the middle of an update season, it doesn't matter. I've got to work through it. Oh man. It's actually kind of funny because Lex and I have this running joke that like whenever there's an update, one of us gets sick either during the update or afterward, like every single time without fail. Like it's crazy, okay? And you know, part of that is probably the fact that we're like staying up late, we're working on content, we're working around the clock to create sneak peek content. You guys know I only release a video like 2 or 3 times a week, and then when an update happens, it's like every single day, right? And so it's stressful. It's not easy to do, and I'm sure we get sick because of that, but also I think it's just, we just have really bad luck during updates. Whatever the reason is, we always get sick during an update. Now I will say my work-life balance has actually improved a lot, especially around updates, and I'm actually really thankful for my video editor, Chicken. That's right, Chicken, you can put your stuff on the screen there. But go ahead, do it, right? He helps out a ton during update content, and he's actually really awesome. You guys should check him out. He does Brawl Stars YouTube content as well. The last thing I want you guys to think is that I'm unhappy with update content, right? Like, no, I'm not. I love it. Is awesome. I absolutely love what I do every day. Creating content for Brawl Stars. I love Brawl Stars. I love making videos. I love entertaining, and you put it all up into a little mix and you put it together, and that's what I do for a living, and it's awesome. So even though updates are sometimes stressful, you know, it's actually really fun, and I love it. I'm just trying to be a little bit more real for you guys in this video, and the raw truth of it is that even though things are hard and I do get worried about the future, I'm incredibly thankful to do what I do every single day. Now don't get me wrong, guys. This is work. Creating my YouTube channel is work, okay? It's not easy. I've put in my fair share of 100-hour work weeks, not even joking. I've done that for a long period, for months at a time, right? And when I tell people that I cover video games on YouTube, they often ask me, they're like, hey, what's it like to play video games for a living? And I'm like, I don't know. That sounds really fun, but I don't do that. I make videos for a living. And I'm actually playing less video games now than before I ever started my YouTube channel, right? I've had to work very hard to get to where I am today. And I also recognize how few people are actually able to make a living doing this. And I consider myself to be very lucky to be one of them. There are people that have worked more hours and for longer and still haven't been able to make it work out. And it's a mixture of a lot of different things, but I know that a big reason why I'm able to do this is because of the support from those of you who are watching my videos, like every single one of my videos that I release, and also those of you guys that are watching my video up until this point. Like if you're watching right now, I know that you are a fan of the channel, and I really appreciate that, because as I'm sure that there were plenty of people that clicked off the video as soon as I told them, hey guys, I'm gonna talk about my personal life. So thank you, okay? You, right now, you, I'm talking to you. Yeah, just look me in the eyes. I'm just staring at my camera. This is weird. But I really do appreciate you for watching my channel and for being the support that I need to be able to make this happen, because it's not just me. It's also my editor, and I also pay a graphic designer, and I also have a wife, and I've got 2 daughters, right? So thank you for supporting the channel and for allowing me to do what I love. And that actually brings me to the next point that I wanted to talk about in this video. Now, I started my YouTube channel as a hobby because I graduated from college and I had a break year before I would actually go and start my doctorate program, okay? And I started my channel because I was like, hey, I like Clash Royale. I've got some time. I'm only working so many hours. Like, this would be a fun hobby for me to do. And it seemed like a fun thing to try. And I liked it. Obviously, things turned out pretty great, but it was not my goal to be a full-time content creator until a couple of years after I started my channel in the first place. And even when I did make it my goal, my long-term goals really didn't change. When all is said and done, my #1 priority has always been for me to be able to provide for my family. If for some reason I could no longer do that on YouTube, it doesn't matter how much I love doing this, I would have to stop uploading videos onto the KairosTime YouTube channel. Maybe I'd go to school and finish my doctorate degree. Maybe I would do something with Supercell. Maybe I would do something bigger with Tribe Gaming. I don't know what it would be, but videos would stop getting uploaded to my channel, okay? And that's the sad truth of it, okay? With that said, I absolutely love doing what I do right now, and I would be heartbroken if I had to stop this channel. Oh, it would be so sad. I love this. And I know that you guys like my videos too. It would be, I can't say it any other way than I would be heartbroken to give up on this. It would be so sad. And it's actually one of the biggest fears that I have had, that something that keeps me up at night, right? Like, what if my channel is no longer interesting to people and for some reason I can't support my family doing this? And that's why there is something that I am incredibly thankful for, because without it, I would not be able to do this. I'm talking about sponsorships. That's right, OnePlus. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm not entirely kidding, okay? You might be wondering, okay, why in the world would Kairos want to talk about sponsors and advertisements in a video that I consider to be the most important that I will make all year? Well, I told you guys that I'd be a little bit more vulnerable with you in this video, and you all know that that's an important part of my business, but quite honestly, I've had my feelings hurt like pretty frequently in the past year over this exact topic. Man, I think you guys might be surprised at how much I read your comments on my channel. In fact, if I'm ever having a rough day, there's like one thing that I know I can do. There's a couple things. I like to go hang out with my wife. But the other thing I really love to do is pull up my phone, look at the comments on my channel, and see what you guys are saying. Okay, that has consistently been one of the best ways to make me feel better. You guys have a really positive impact on me, and I love your comments. So I really am thankful for them. Okay, the vast majority of the comments that are on my channel are really uplifting. But what's really frustrating is when I'm reading through my comments and come across someone calling me a sellout for including sponsored segments in my videos or advertisements or having lots of advertisements in it, right? When I'm doing this because I want to be able to support my family. I'm a pretty honest guy, and I try to be as good of a person as I possibly can be. I turn down a lot of content, a lot of sponsors, a lot of money because I don't think that they are in the best interest for you guys, or I think they're a low quality sponsor. Obviously, I need to provide for my family, but there are other options other than YouTube, okay? It doesn't matter how much a sponsor wants me to do something. If they make me feel uncomfortable, or if they're trying to promote something I don't agree with, or they're trying to sell a game that's just really low quality, it doesn't matter how much they're willing to pay for it. My honor is worth more to me than any amount of money. And I understand that you guys don't like advertisements, and I know you don't like sponsored segments of the video. I myself don't like watching advertisements. Does anybody? Is there anybody out there that's just like,
oh man, I can't wait for 1 minute left in this video when the next advertisement's gonna pop up.
No, like that doesn't happen. But that's how I make a living as a content creator, and that is how I provide for my family. And I feel good about it because I know that I'm able to have a positive impact on the lives of millions of viewers who watch my channel every month. The truth is, without ads and sponsors, I could not afford to take the time to make these videos about Brawl Stars. And so without ads and sponsors, I would not be able to have a positive impact on people around the world that like to watch my channel. And, you know, I think that the majority of you guys understand the situation. I know that I'm kind of preaching to the choir in a sense, of the fact that like you guys, the people watching now are already the ones that are really dedicated to the channel. And so I really appreciate you watching through sponsored content because I am personally very thankful for sponsors like OnePlus. I know I made a joke about it earlier, but for real, thank you. You guys can check them out in the link in the description below. That brings me to the next point that I want to talk about. This is actually kind of an exciting announcement. I've hit sponsors over the head. I don't know. People hurt my feelings. Exciting announcement. My wife and I, we are becoming big boys and girls. We're becoming adults. And we're buying a house. In fact, we're actually building a house right now. Hooray! I'm actually really excited about this, but I'm also pretty nervous about what it means for the future, okay? Now, if you're familiar at all with the housing market in the US right now, or probably even anywhere in the world, you already know that things are pretty insane, okay? Whether you're buying a house or you're building a house, well, costs are going up. I'm not going to go over into all the details behind it, but housing is really expensive right now, largely in part because of COVID. Okay, so it's actually been a really hard decision for us to make this, but after a lot of research, I mean, we've been renting this whole time, and there's a difference between putting money towards a home when you're paying off a mortgage versus paying rent, because when you're paying off a mortgage, well, I don't even go over the details. It's an investment, whereas when you're paying rent, it's pretty much just paying to live there. It's different. And anyway, we decided that it's time for us to become those big adult people and get a mortgage and build a house for us and our two little girls. Okay, now it's stressful. Cost of living is really expensive right now. Future of Brawl Stars, I'm kind of depending on them to continue releasing good content. Don't get me wrong though, this is not a poor decision for us. We're being frugal, we're being smart with our finances, and we've been saving really hard so that we could do this. And a big reason why we decided to build a home instead of like buy one that's already there is the fact that I work from home, okay? I spend the majority of my life right here in my office. And if I'm not standing up like I am right now, I'm sitting down at this desk, okay? So we wanted to build a house with a large enough studio office that I could actually grow into. It was somewhat separated from the rest of the house. Okay, I've got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old daughter, and they can be kind of distracting, okay? You can't hear them right now. This microphone's pretty good, but a lot of times when I'm recording my videos, they're like right on the other side of this wall right here, screaming and yelling. They're playing, they're having fun, and well, I like them. I'm a dad, and it's distracting to me. So anyway, I'm excited about building a house and also pretty nervous. We can afford the house that we are building right now, and that's the key phrase, okay? Right now. I'm laughing, but the sad truth about a career on YouTube is that there are a lot of successful creators 5 years ago that are no longer able to make a living creating content now. We've even seen it right here within Supercell Gaming, okay? Here is a chart from Google Trends showing the interest over time for Clash Royale in the past 5 years, specifically on YouTube, okay? Not overall, but on YouTube, right here where YouTube content creators can make a living. Obviously, interest was the highest when the game was first launched, but what I find incredibly unnerving is the fact that the interest in Clash Royale on YouTube has been less than 25% of what it was when it was first released for almost 2 entire years now. And when I go look at the view counts of some of my favorite Clash Royale content creators, they're a tiny fraction of what they used to be, and even just a year ago, okay? There's actually a lot of content creators that can no longer afford to make videos around Clash Royale. They can't, because of the decreased interest in YouTube. I'm not saying it's not possible, okay? There are some awesome people still covering the game and who are doing very well. And I definitely think that this isn't a stance on Clash Royale. I think that Clash Royale absolutely has a huge potential to come right back. But I think you guys can see how this graph right here, a Supercell game, is really scary for me. What if for any reason interest in Brawl Stars on YouTube declines to the point where I can't do this any longer? I love what I do, and like I said, it would break my heart. So yeah, building a house right now seems to be like the best move for us and our family, but it's not like I can just buy a house in cash, right? Like, it's gonna be a mortgage, and most people spend at least 15 years paying off the mortgage for their home. I love Brawl Stars. I have so much fun with it, even after playing it for like over 4 years now, but we're talking about 15 years. I don't know that Brawl Stars is gonna be doing that great in 15 years from now. It would be awesome if it did. That would be super cool, but video games don't typically have that long of a shelf life. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to create content around Brawl Stars 5 years from now. YouTube is a relatively new industry, and pretty much anything could happen in the next 15 years, okay? Now, the good news is that things are actually really good in Brawl Stars right now, okay? I don't see things changing now for at least the next couple of years. Here's actually a similar graph for Brawl Stars on Google Trends, and this is since the game was first released back in December 2018. As you can see, yes, there was a decreased interest for Brawl Stars on YouTube during its first year. That's to be expected. But after that, interest has actually gone up, and it's been pretty much good, and not even just good, but really great for the past year. And honestly, the Brawl Stars team is continuing to put awesome update after awesome update after awesome update into the game, and the game feels really alive right now, okay? So although I am stressed about the future, I'm really thankful that things are really good right now, and it's just really a big fear of mine that the channel will become irrelevant for something that I have little control over. Now, I know that a lot of people watching right now are going to respond to this, and some people are going to suggest that I start covering another game or start doing another channel or something like that. That's actually the exact reason why my wife and I started her YouTube channel, Lady Kairos, right? Quick update on that. We'll pick it back up, but we've decided to wait until both Lady Kairos and I have more time. Also, the thing is, I've decided it is best for me to spend time on Brawl Stars right now because things are good in Brawl Stars right now. If I take more time to do a different channel, it's gonna be less Brawl Stars content, and I know it's an investment and it's something I would have to do, but I'm not ready to make that decision yet, okay? I'm also sure that there will be people that will suggest working as hard as possible right now since Brawl Stars is going really well, so that, you know, we can prepare for the future. And yes, I am working hard right now, which we'll talk about that, actually, the next point I want to talk about. But this is exactly why you've seen so many sponsorships in my recent content, right? It seems like almost every one of my videos for the past month or so has had some sort of a shout out or sponsored segment in it. And I know I talked earlier about how thankful I am for sponsors, but even I feel like having a sponsor in every video is a bit excessive. But the thing is, though, that's things are going really well right now, and I have sponsors reaching out that I do actually like. And I have no idea how long they're going to be this good for. So I really feel like I need to do as much business as I can for right now, even if it means that I'm releasing a lot of content with sponsored content in it. Because the truth is, I can make 4 or 5 times more revenue off of a video that has a sponsored segment in it than without one. That's not to say I'm accepting every sponsorship that comes to me. For everyone that you see, there's probably 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 that I've turned down just because I really don't agree with what they're promoting, or well, I've kind of already talked about this. Let's jump topics. Last year when I did my most important video of 2020, one of the big fears that I talked about was the fact that I was pretty much always working 70 hours per week, at least. A lot of times it was 80, sometimes 90, even 100 hours per week. Honestly, oh man, I was burnt out. I was really burnt out. It was exhausting, and I very rarely took personal time, and even the time that I spent with my family was pretty limited. Now, with that said, I'm really glad that I worked so hard because it brought my channel to where it is today, but there was zero work-life balance, and I wanted to fix that, okay? And that is why I am really proud to let you guys know that I have made a lot of improvements in that area over the past year. I know it's kind of funny because I was just barely talking about how I need to work hard right now while things are good in Brawl Stars, but I feel like I'm able to do better work because I'm spending less time working and I'm taking more time to take care of myself and spending more time with my family. And honestly, I've been a lot happier because of it, okay? Rather than trying to release a video every day or every other day, you've probably noticed that I'm only releasing about 2 or 3 videos a week, sometimes even less than that. Like I said, I'm spending more time with my family. I've picked up inline skating at the skate park, as you probably noticed from my stew unboxing video. And I've even been able to play some games on the side of Brawl Stars. And that's actually been really refreshing for me because I love Brawl Stars and it's a game for me, but it's also a work game. I don't really know how to describe it. So having a game that I'm not creating content around has actually been really refreshing for me, okay? And I feel so much happier because of this. So I'm really thankful for you guys' support, especially when you come back to watch my videos after a very long break. Kind of like since the last video. The last video I was released was several days ago. So you guys are awesome. And I'm probably still working an average of about 50 hours per week, which is still a lot. It's more than full-time. Full-time's 40 hours per week. But this is where I feel like I'm pretty happy and things are pretty balanced. So I'm going to try and keep up a similar pace this year. And so I think that's kind of what you can expect from my channel. A video every 2 to 3 days, 2 or 3 videos a week. And it would be nice if I could figure out how to take some time off for like a week or 2 weeks off to do an actual vacation. But I'm pretty happy with things for now. So really guys, thank you very much for all your support. Okay, so I feel like this video has kind of been all over the place, and I know it's been a longer video, okay? But there's one thing I want to talk about before I end this video. What I want to talk about was actually how you can support any Brawl Stars content creator who's creating content on YouTube. Now, why do I say it like that? Well, it's because I know that anybody that's watching right now is probably a good fan of my channel. And if you're a good fan of my channel, then there's a pretty good chance that you also want to support other Brawl Stars content creators. And there are also some misconceptions that I've heard from people just online and in comments and things like that I wanted to kind of clear up on how you can best support us. And I honestly mean when I say that I want as many successful Brawl Stars content creators to be successful, to be able to do their work full time as possible. I really do want that. And it's not just a selfless thing, like which I really do. I want as many people to be able to do it well, but it's also kind of selfish as well in the fact that the more creators creating content around Brawl Stars, that means that there's more people for me to be able to reach out to. And so it's actually really good. I don't know why I'm telling you that I'm like not just being selfless, like, but for real, like, I want a lot of content creators to be doing well on Brawl Stars, more so than just my channel. Now, the first way you can support any Brawl Stars content creator is obvious, right? KAIROS, code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop, right? Creator codes. Yeah, obviously creator codes go a long way in supporting us. Otherwise, you wouldn't hear it from us on a weekly basis from not just me, but all of the content creators, right? It's I know it's kind of repetitive. The code expires after 7 days. It's frustrating for me, just as frustrating as for you guys. So I appreciate your patience when I sing that creator jingle every single one of my videos. Okay, but that's not the point I'm trying to prove. Okay, obviously, I want you to use code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop. But if there is another creator that you would rather support, I want you guys to know that I 100% think that is awesome, especially if they don't have as many subscribers as I do, okay? I know that there are other content creators that get more views on videos and things like that on my channel, but my channel's doing really well. right now. In comparison to a lot of the English speaking content creators that cover Brawl Stars, my channel's doing really well. So if you want to use somebody else's code, please do. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, guys. You can use code chicken. Use code chicken, right? There are other content creators that are creating awesome content around Brawl Stars. Obviously, if you want to support my channel, I appreciate that. I do think that there's a lot of value in you supporting the channel that creates the content that you most enjoy watching. That's a really great thing to do. And I've obviously tried to build a whole, meme around the jingle using code Kairos and Brawl Stars shop. But if you want to support somebody else, just make sure that you don't forget to support somebody in a creator code. If you forget, then nobody benefits, and that's just unfortunate. It expires after every 7 days, so this is not going to be the last time I tell you to use code Kairos. And the next thing you can do to support any creator is to turn on the notification bell for this channel and anybody you want to support, okay? Just subscribing really doesn't do very much. If you miss 1 or 2 videos because you've got something going on at the same time, like tests or school or work gets busy or you're dating someone new or anything like that, and you miss a couple videos, YouTube will stop sharing the videos that you would want to see even if you're already subscribed. That's why the notification bell is so important. You have to do that so you'll get the notification so that, maybe if you even have the notification bell and you don't watch every single video, that's fine too, but at least you'll get that notification and you'll get to be the one that decides whether you want to watch the video instead of YouTube being the one to decide for you. Last thing you can do to support a channel is to watch the video and watch every video from beginning to end when you do so. The longer you watch a video, the more likely YouTube is to share it to other viewers, which is why I am so thankful to those of you guys that are watching at this point. Or really just because you guys are the hardcore fans. You guys are the real Kairos family, so thank you. I know I've said thank you so many times in this video. You guys are awesome. Okay, but for those of you that do watch every single one of my videos and you watch them all from beginning to end, that supports me so much, okay? And that also includes not skipping through sponsored content. I've already talked about that. I'm going to talk about that. But skipping through sponsored content also negatively impacts the video, at least a little bit, okay? Now, I will say, it's my responsibility to create engaging content that you want to watch all the way through. If you don't feel like I deserve your watch time, you should not watch my video for the whole time, right? But if you do feel like a creator deserves your time, just watching their content all the way through is a lot more helpful than you guys think. And by the way, watching advertisements on the channel doesn't count toward the watch time for the channel. However, if you do want the advertisements that you see on a YouTube video to go toward the actual creator, make sure you watch at least 30 seconds before skipping it. After 30 seconds, you can skip it and they will get the credit for that. And then, yeah. And also, if you don't want to watch advertisements, but you still want to support the creators that you watch, YouTube Premium is actually the way to go, okay? In fact, unless you watch thousands of videos every month, a creator will benefit more from you as a YouTube Premium viewer than if you were a free viewer watching all the advertisements, which I think is actually pretty cool. I think that's awesome. Okay, wow. We really went all over the place for this video. It has been about 2 years, just actually 2.5 years since I decided to create content full time. And when I made that announcement video, I asked everybody who reached the end of the video to put a comment in the video with the hashtag Kairos Forever. So that I knew that you watched the whole thing, okay? Now, I want to end this video the same way. If you've watched up until this point, please put a comment in the section below using hashtag Kairos Forever. There's no way I'm going to be able to respond to everybody that does that. And I don't even know that I can promise that I'll be able to read every single comment on the video that has that hashtag in there. I mean, we're talking about thousands of comments here. But I'm going to be reading the comment section of this video a lot more than probably any other video for this entire year. So if you want to put something in there, I would really appreciate your guys' thoughts. And thank you so very much for supporting the channel. This last year, it has been crazy. And there's been a lot of bad that's happened. There's been a lot of good that's happened. And I like to think that I've been at least a little bit of the good part in your lives. And I thank you for letting me do that, and for you having me be a part of your life for this past crazy year. Anyway, for now, this is KairosTime ticking by. We'll see you in Brawl Stars.